Hey, I'm David.
And I'm Eddie.
And we are full-time gays, and we are here at Wildwoods Hideaway Campground in Eutaw, Alabama. But we're going to give you a little tour of the park and tell you about the experience we've had over the week that we've spent here. Hey there everybody, welcome to our very first YouTube video where we are going to try to give a quick review on gay campgrounds that we visit. We're not the first to do it, we probably won't be the last, but we're going to give our own take on it. Right now we are in the middle of a 10-week road trip around the country, and this video is about the very first stop that we made, which is a campground in Alabama, in Eutaw.
Yeah, it's not spelled like Utah. It's like E-U-T-A-W or something like that.
Yeah, Eutaw, Alabama, which is about 45 minutes or so southwest of Tuscaloosa. It's called Wildwoods Hideaway, and that's where we spent week one of our 10-week road trip. So what we're going to do is give kind of a rating on a couple different things that at least are important to us when we're choosing a campground to go to. Maybe they'll be important to you as well. We're going to look at how big rig friendly is it, because we have this like monster size 43.5-foot fifth wheel, and then we'll look at like the grounds, you know, the campsites, the
facilities.
Yeah, the facilities. Then we'll look at sort of the vibe, which is totally subjective, so we'll do our very best to qualify whatever we say with that in mind, and then we'll look at
the internet and see how strong and well it worked for us.
Yeah, we're full-timers, so we need really strong internet so that we can both work remotely, not to mention TV.
Yeah.
Porn.
Do you put that in there?
Maybe. All right, so the first thing that we're going to look at is the big rig friendliness. And as I mentioned, we're a really big fifth wheel. We've got a dually F350 truck. And sometimes a lot of campgrounds are really tough to get into. And so the roads leading up to the campground were amazing.
Yeah.
It's maybe 15 minutes off the interstate, 3 quick turns, 2-lane roads, clearly marked lanes, plenty wide enough, not big curves, not big hills. And then when you turn into the campground, you're on this little dirt road, you go through the gate, and then you take another left, and you go down this dirt road that they made.
Yeah.
And they're truck drivers, because as you turn into the campground, there's this, at least when we got there, this big old semi-truck there. So I think the owners were
semi-drivers. Yeah, there was 4 owners, I believe. 2 of them are currently still semi-truck drivers. So
yeah, so if they could get through and they obviously know what they're doing with clearance, we had no issues at all, which is a godsend. No twists, no bends, no weird contortions that the truck and trailer had to make. However, to get to our site, we come up to the campground portion, which is still fairly small. We had to do like a 4-point turn sort of thing to back our camper into the site. So there were no pull-through sites at the time. It's a nice site, but it was a little awkward getting in. It wasn't difficult, but it wasn't as easy as it could have been.
yeah, I mean, pull-through sites are always a gem to find, and unfortunately campgrounds just sometimes don't have the space for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so overall on big rig friendliness though, I'm going to give it a solid 7. It would be much higher if they had pull-through sites.
Yeah, no, I'm still going to go ahead and even just give it an 8.
Okay, so that means 7.5.
Perfect.
Okay, next.
We're going to talk about the facilities. So the campground's pretty new, 2 or 3 years old. And when they first bought it, it was a hunting lodge. That hunting lodge is still there, and they've renovated it to basically make it like a bed and breakfast with a bunch of bedrooms, bathrooms, and they have a full kitchen and living area for everyone there to use. They've renovated. It's beautiful. If we didn't have our rig, I would actually want to stay in one of them because they're really cool. They put in a bunch of cabins for folks to stay in as well. As far as the facilities for us to enjoy while we're there, they put in 2 brand new saltwater pools. They actually named one the daytime pool and one the nighttime pool, but never really saw that separation, but whatever. You got 2 pools to choose from. They had this massive pavilion with tons of seating and picnic tables inside, and inside that pavilion they have a bar and grill.
Or is it a grill and bar?
No, it's definitely a bar and grill because the bar always comes first.
Okay, true.
But so they have a full service bar, and the grill, you don't pay cash. You have to go to the office and buy tokens. to pay for whatever you're ordering.
Hashtag Alabama.
Yeah. And coincidentally, 1 token equals $1.
So let me get this straight. If I want a drink, they'll give me a drink. All I have to do is give them a token in return.
Yeah, that you have to buy.
From the office.
From the office.
And each token is
$1.
Can I tip in tokens?
Yes, you can.
How amazing! But hey, it worked.
So we tried a couple other menu items, like your standard bar, pub, gastropub type of food, chicken fingers, burgers. You can get a couple salads, and we tried a couple things. They were actually really good.
Keto friendly.
Very keto friendly. Maybe not the burger.
Well, I didn't have a bun.
That's true. They had a couple of hot tubs. One was outdoor but covered. The other one was inside of, I guess, what used to be a building. It's a building, but it has no windows or doors.
It used to be a building?
Yeah.
What is it now?
It's an outdoor. It's got a very outdoorsy feeling.
An open air building.
There you go.
Yes.
Our campsite was actually nice and level, full of gravel, very clean, had full water and electric, but no sewer, which is kind of a bummer. And when we asked if they had a dump station, they don't. They said the nearest dump station is, again, out by the highway at a truck stop or something. So it's kind of a bummer with that. But overall, I think the facilities are fantastic. So I'm going to give it a solid 8 on that.
Okay. I'm not going to go quite that high because there was no sewer and because there was no dump station. That's kind of a minimum amenity for a lot of campgrounds. If we had spent more than the 7 days that we spent there, we wouldn't have been able to use our own bathroom.
Yeah.
There was no pool or Blue Boy thingies.
Or Honey Pod or whatever.
Yeah,
they're
nothing
called.
like that at all. And we're not going to hook everything up and drive it down to the interstate just to dump our tank. So I think they're working on it. I know they have some things that have sewer. Maybe some of the campsites do, for all I know. I also know that they're planning on doing a really big expansion in the coming years on the other side with like its own separate entrance. Presumably those would have sewers.
That'd be nice.
So other than the sewer, I would certainly give it an 8. Is that what you gave it?
That's what I gave it, yeah.
I'm gonna give it a 7. They built so much so fast that's pretty darn cool.
Yeah.
So 7.
Okay, so average 7.5.
Again?
Yeah, again.
We're consistent.
So next we're going to talk about
vibes.
There you go.
Yes, we're going to talk about the vibe. And the vibe is really subjective, right? It depends on what you're there for. It depends on what you're looking for, what you're comfortable with. We just turned 40. Don't look away. So we kind of have like one toe dipped in the younger crowd and one maybe bigger toe dipped in the older crowd.
Careful.
So the vibe was actually pretty cool. It was very quiet during the week. There were a few residents there that stay there full time, kind of like we do at home at Grizzly Pines. And during the weekend, a lot more folks showed up, renting cabins. There was a couple more campers that showed up. They don't have a whole lot of transient sites yet. But there was a lot of day passers. Did you notice that?
Yeah, a lot of them.
Yeah, that's not a bad thing. Plenty of, I don't think I've ever been to a gay campground that doesn't allow day passers or doesn't enjoy having day passers. But it seems to be extra prevalent in the South, in particular Alabama. We've been to all 3 gay campgrounds in Alabama, and it was a very common theme. I don't know if it's a Bible Belt thing,
culture thing maybe.
A culture thing. A lot more like married men, that are in the closet that are going to the gay campground. And if the video's wiggling, that's because our washer is in the spin cycle. What great timing we have. So yeah, the vibe though, everybody was super friendly, like super friendly. They'd walk up to you. It was easy to interject yourself into a conversation, or they'd invite you into a conversation. Very non-cliquey. Some folks are there for just camaraderie and cocktails, kind of like we are. Other folks are there, maybe looking for a little bit more, and so there's some facilities there for that if that's what you're interested in. I think the thing I was struck by is how forward people were.
Yeah, we got propositioned quite often.
Like, I would like to see you naked. Literally. Well, thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah, no.
Maybe after a few more of these. So I'm going to say the vibe, again.
So I'm going to agree with you and go with an 8 simply because the vibe there, everyone was super friendly. We would just be sitting outside, minding our business. Somebody would walk by and just strike up a conversation with you. If you went to the bar and grill, you were not going to feel left out by any means. So, yeah, I'm going to give it an 8 as well. So I guess we're going to average out to that one as an 8.
Okay, so 7.5, 7.5, 8. The last thing is
the internet. So again, being full-time RVers and we both remotely work.
He hasn't won the lottery yet.
Trying. We really have to rely on a strong internet signal. Right now we use a Verizon Jetpack with the truly unlimited plan, and in most places it works just fine. This park was certainly no exception to that. We had great signal, great strength. We were able to go all week long without any interruptions to our work day. Internet phone calls were just fine. We were able to stream Netflix and our YouTube videos, and everything was perfect. So I'm just gonna give that a solid 9.
Yeah, our internet experience, I would also agree, would be a solid 9. I can't speak to what Sprint and what T-Mobile have, but we did hear that AT&T signal is iffy at best. So for anybody that doesn't have Verizon or a Verizon hotspot, it certainly wouldn't be a 9. I don't remember if they had campground Wi-Fi. They probably had it for like the guest rooms.
Maybe, I don't remember.
I don't remember either, but we'll give them the benefit of the doubt and say that they do. But I don't know how fast it is. So not wanting to like knock somebody for something I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a 7 because it's only Verizon, to my knowledge, that has the really strong cell signal. Now, if you have Verizon, fabulous signal.
It's great.
Yeah.
So overall, I guess the final question is
well, hold on. What was our score, our total score for that, for the internet?
I don't remember what mine was. Oh, mine was a 9. Yours was a 7. So we're at an 8. So 7.5, 7.5, 8, and 8.
Love you.
God, I hope so. So again, would you go back to Wildwoods Hideaway and for another adventure?
Totally.
Yeah, me too. Totally.
Yeah, in a heartbeat. It was a great place, good time, easy in, easy out. Internet was good, friendly folks, good infrastructure. And I think the thing about it that's that really is in its favor is that how much they've done again in such a short amount of time. You can only expect that they're going to do more. The owners work their tails off all day, every day. John was out there every day. When I woke up at like 6:30 for work, he was already outside working.
Yeah.
That shows a level of love,
dedication,
and, ownership, and pride in what they do. Especially if they build that new little addition for more RVs and maybe with some sewer.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But overall, hands down, definitely would go.
Perfect.
All right. So I'm thirsty.
Me too.
Cheers.
Cheers.
We're in it together.